Hey everyone, how's it going? Octopus here. Welcome back to 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross. And we're talking about the slime event that's going to be happening after tomorrow's maintenance. Maintenance also means that a lot of things are ending. So if you guys want to catch anything, cosmetics, characters, events that are currently going on, like the gems, spend a certain amount of gems, Fallen Boss King, make sure to get all that done. I'll be doing everything I need to do tomorrow, including upgrading my gear, getting past level 150 something CC. I think I'm pretty close to getting a big chunk here. I farmed a lot. If you guys want to catch me live tomorrow, I stream over at twitch.tv/MeeleeOctopus, link in the description. But let's go over the slime characters, what they do, and if you guys should go for it or not. I'm going to be talking about every single one. Alright, starting this off with Roo Roo. If I mispronounce these names, I do apologize ahead of time. Roo Roo is one of those characters that actually lasts a little bit more compared to the other ones in this. Every single character here has a unique thing. Obviously, that's what the whole point of the game is. Every character does something different team comps. It all depends on your account, but let's go see what this SSR blue character does. Now, Roo Roo, his unique passive is pretty unique and pretty cool. It increases defense-related stats by 8% if the hero takes damage. So this happens not by turns, I believe. It's every time he does get hit, stacks up to 5 times, which is a pretty big amount. That's 40% right there. So 40% defense increase. But the thing about the unique passive on Roo Roo here is that his defense stats are not that great. That goes for like resistance, crit defense. It's at 10%, and you can see 20% over here. So he kind of needs this to work, but it's after he takes 5 hits to get that max amount there. Not the craziest. You could do a defense build on this. It'd be pretty interesting, but it's one of those situations, you know what I mean? For his skills, his first skill is at 1 star is Rupture. If you guys don't know what Rupture is, it's 2 times damage against buffed enemies. It's 180% of the character's attack to 1 enemy. At rank 2 and rank 3, the attack goes up, and that's pretty much it for the first skill. So it can do a lot of damage depending on who you're facing. As for the second skill, 450% is pretty big too. That is pretty nice. For the second skill, Obstruction, it's a pretty cool thing. It's a stance, not a buff. So this works out really nicely. Assume a stance which grants debuff immunity for 1 turn. Deals 30% of diminished HP at the start of the next turn. And then assumes another stance at rank 2 and 3, but this time it taunts, which is really, really cool. So that taunt will go there, and it grants debuff immunity for 1 turn for rank 2, which heals 30%, and at rank 3, it goes to 2 turns and 50%. So this can be very annoying and very, very good. Again, you can do a pretty good defensive build here. Get that defense stats up there, you know what I mean? Get hit 5 times, so on and so on, because he wants to taunt. So it could be very interesting and very annoying, depending on if the player doesn't know how to work around it. This character can last a little bit longer compared to the other ones. So for the ultimate combination attack is with Meliodas, green and blue Meliodas. You guys get that cool extra damage, 560% compared to the regular 490. But for what the ultimate skill does, it cancels buffs and stances on 1 enemy and inflicts damage for 490 plus a stun for 1 turn. And the combined is exact same thing, just the extra damage there. So honestly, the character overall can work, definitely be annoying in some situations. The problem is the substats are not the greatest. You've got characters that are going to be coming out that are going to be a lot stronger, gems are worth for, and when it comes to characters we currently have, you guys rather kind of like rock Escanor, because Escanor will do a lot more damage and be more long-term than this. So spending gems on this versus something else, not really the greatest idea. If you do pick it up though by random chance, definitely a fun character to work on. Alright, next up we got Slime Roo Roo, the SR version. Now, this is going to be a combination of a couple Elizabeths put together and a little bit of Bond in there as well too. So, the unique passive, it heals HP of all allies equal to 5% of diminished HP at the start of every turn. You guys seen this before. Red Elizabeth, Boar Hat over here, does the same thing, but a little bit different. All allies are healed for 10% of max HP at the start of the next turn when taking damage. So this does 5%, but it's as long as you're missing HP. It's a little bit weaker, not the greatest, but hey, it still heals, which is really nice. Now, for the first ability, you guys recognize it from another Elizabeth, which removes buffs and does 220% damage. Removes buffs, does 300% damage, and rank 3 cancels buffs and stances and deals 400%. So we've seen this ability before, and now we've got the heal, which is full potion. That heals 1 ally for 300%. At rank 2, it heals for 300%, but it grants debuff immunity, which is really, really nice. And then at rank 3, it heals HP of all allies. So only 1 ally gets this, but at rank 3, all allies get that debuff immunity for 2 turns and the 3% heal, which is really cool. The heal is pretty decent, not the Not like the best one out there, but it's going to heal. It's going to heal, you know what I mean? Right now, I think it's going to be really good. Later on, there's going to be better units as we go down the line. Obviously, that's how the game works. Now, the ultimate inflicts damage equal to 630% to one enemy and depletes 3 ultimate gauges, and this is where that blue bond kicks in. Kind of the same idea. So the entire package of slime is pretty decent by just looking at it. I believe in JP, the rank 1 will not have removed buffs, so correct me if I'm wrong on that. That is, in JP, this wasn't there at the start, so this might come with us or might not. The first rank might just be doing damage, then rank 2 will remove buffs. So overall, slime is going to get a lot of use. You got buff disabling stances, heals in the background for the passive, debuff immunity, and a good ultimate with a lot of damage and depleting 3 ultimate moves. So overall, this is not too bad of a unit. Now, next up, we got Amaru. I think that's how you pronounce it. Amaru, at first glance, looks really, really amazing, but can only be used for certain things. You're going to be going for the training cave later on. You got Crimson EX, which is going to work out, but only on like phase 3, because just like Bond, only the 3rd heart will be affected by this defense-related stats going down. Now, overall, the kit looks really cool. I'm going to start with the unique passive because this kind of looks really amazing. Like 3% as long as we keep doing more and more skills. So think about Jericho. Every time you use a card, you get 10% chance crit. Every time you use a character skill, one of those cards, you increase the damage by 3% per skill used. Now, this keeps going up. I don't believe there's any cap. If there's a cap, please let me know. I couldn't really find one. But that just keeps going up. But the thing is, that's really slow. Even if you use 3 cards every turn, you're going from like 9, 18, 27. You got characters like, well, that would be kind of ridiculous to not happen. So that's the whole point, right? It depends how long the match is, and honestly, in all the content I could see, there's pretty much not too much use for this unique passive. It's nice to have, but it's not as crazy as you think it is. You're just taking a longer time to kill something versus other characters like Red Elizabeth Hawk, where they can just rank up a lot faster with their damage compared to this 3% per card used, because you're not going to always just use his cards, you know what I mean? So, looks really cool, but it depends what you guys are going for. Honestly, I wouldn't worry too much about that. For the first skill, you've got weak points. If you guys don't know what weak point is, weak point does 3 times damage against debuffed enemies, not characters. Debuffed enemies 3 times damage, and of course he has a debuff card. Now that does 110, 165 to 275 with that 3 times damage there if they're debuffed, and they will be. Now, that debuff is a defense-related stat, so it lowers your resistance, crit resistance, and crit defense. From what I could hear, it works in certain situations, and at the same time, it doesn't work. It's one of those things that it seems amazing, but on paper, actually, from paper, it looks amazing. When you put into action, it doesn't do as much as you think it would. So, the whole thing here is that the Crimson Demon, you can use this on the 3rd heart, go for a lot of damage, and by the time you get 3rd heart, you're going to do a lot of damage, but like we said, Red Elizabeth Hawk pretty much dominates that already, so if you guys are working on that, I would just continue working on that, and it's not an SSR, right? Where this guy is an SSR. For the ultimate move, inflicts damage equals to 560% of attack to one enemy, decreases skill ranks, then depletes the ultimate move gauge by the number of skill ranks decreased. So overall, his kill looks pretty good, but you're not going to see too much use of him, so I wouldn't go too crazy with this one, but you'll definitely see some places where it will work, and again, you can use it on Crimson, which is nice. Now, next up, we got Milla. Milla looks amazing. Honestly, just by reading her abilities, I think she looks great. As for how she does, it all depends on the situation and where she is, obviously, like every character. Now, the unique passive is really nice, but you're going to look at the stats in just a second. Increases crit damage by 8% per skill use up to 10 times. So, every time you use a skill, 8% crit damage up, not crit chance, crit damage. So when you go look at the crit damage though, it starts at 120%, so you're gonna start off low, but the crit chance is at 80%, so it can do a lot of damage, especially in PvP. So kind of a scary unit. The first skill has Spike, which also has 2 times crit damage. So starting at rank 1, it's 160 to 240 to 400% at rank 3. So you can see some really nice damage off this character. Now for the second ability, which is Quick Wind, this one's really nice. Now this is where PvP can get really annoying as well too. So inflicts damage equal to 60% of attack on one enemy and disables their ultimate move for 1 turn. And again, on one enemy, you do 200% damage and disables ultimate moves for 1 turn. But at rank 3, it's on everybody. 200% attack on everybody for 2 turns. They can't use those ultimate moves. Very, very freaking annoying in PvP. Very nice. And when you use just like this one spam here, disable, 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 you're getting 8% up to 10 times. It's 80%. You're going to have a nice big chunk of damage there. That goes up to 200% just naturally without any gear there. So really cool unit. Honestly, I feel like if I did get her, I'd probably use her. The actual ultimate too inflicts detonate, which if you guys don't know what detonate is, think about when you're in PvP and you're facing enemies and every enemy has an alt move. So let's say Escanor, the corner over there, is rocking 3 alt gauge moves. You got King rocking 2 and you got Gother in the middle rocking 1. You add those together, do that 50% for each one, and boom, you got your total plus a big hit. So with a crit chance at 80% and that crit damage going up by the time you use the ultimate, it's going to be a nice big hit. So very freaking nice character. As for how she goes longer and longer and longer, it all depends. You know what I mean? I think she looks really cool out of all these characters. I wouldn't mind using this one, that's for sure. Before we carry on to the next character, one more thing to mention, more crit damage. So if you do get the slime there, you max it out, use it as that subunit, that's an extra 23.4% crit damage on top of that crit damage stacking there and whatever your gear has on her as well too. So a lot of damage. Next up we got Lilia, Green Lilia. Now Green Lilia is going to be a nice PvP unit. You've got ungeared, geared, really cool. So this is pretty much going to be very annoying. Now, for the unique passive, you got decrease all enemies attack by 16% in PvP. First skill inflicts damage to 180%, then 180 at rank 2, and then 300 at rank 3. So that's how much damage they're doing. But it increases attack-related stats by 20%, 30, then to 40 to one enemy. Now, attack-related stats decreases attack, pierce rate, crit chance, and crit damage. Very freaking nice. Now, for the second ability, this is where it gets really cool. It increases damage taken by all enemies by 20%. At rank 2, 30%, and then third rank, 50% for 3 turns. So 2 turns of taking extra damage. Really good. And then you got the ultimate move, which is kind of like Hauser's if you guys ever used it. But this attacks on all enemies, decreases skill ranks, depletes ultimate gauge moves. Really, really deadly PvP unit here. And you will see a lot of action out of Lilia. So, as for the subunits, you guys see what you guys got here. Gil Thunder, not Gil Thunder, my god, Hendrickson. This is the SR version. So, easy to max out, 6 out of 6, and gets you that 12% lifesteal. But, of course, you got Merlin's up here, and, you know, your Merlin eventually is going to be maxed out alt, especially for Green Merlin. So, you get that crit chance plus 19%. Crit chance is only at 10% down here, so, you know, it's something. So, yeah, that is pretty much the collab. That's all the characters coming out right now. There is going to be an event that you will be getting Lilia in that with the gear. So, I believe if we get the same thing as JP, we might be able to max out this character. 6 out of 6, which is going to be really cool. So, a lot of damage there. You got maxed out at 525%. So, solid characters. As for if you're like deciding, okay, I only got so many gems, is there better characters coming out in the future? Yes. They're nearby. Some of them are, yeah. If you're free to play in this game, me personally, I'm not going to be pulling for this. I am free to play, so I won't be spending the gems I do have because there's cosmetics I want to buy. I feel like my cosmetics are more important for the characters I've already invested in and for future characters, so I kind of got to divide there. I can't be pulling too many characters. If you're going out of your way and you don't care what's happening and you're just like, yeah, I'll buy this one, get that one, and that's totally fine too. These characters can be really fun to use, really cool. A lot of different characters, a lot of different situations, you know what I mean? Everyone is unique and they all play a really cool role. So no matter what you get here, yeah, have a lot of fun. If you're free to play and you're kind of hoarding your gems, I would keep hoarding. That's just my little advice there. You don't have to take it. That's just personally what I'm doing. So that's the entire collab. There is going to be more after the maintenance. I'm going to be going over all of it again. There's an event and new things coming out. So for now, that's pretty much it. I will be streaming again over at twitch.tv/MilliOctopus, doing my final boss king runs, trying to get top 5%. I'm going to be increasing my gear a lot of changes, a lot of characters being unlocked at level 70, 75 because I've been saving up my pendants. So I'm going to finally round out my account and get that really 160 CC, or we're trying to aim towards that 160 CC if I can try to do it tomorrow. I don't know. We're going to see. It's going to be a pretty big stream tomorrow. A lot of things to cover. If you guys want to join me, link in the description. If you guys did enjoy the video though, don't forget to hit the like button. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Keep on smiling, and I'll smell you later.